Fourth. So it doesn't matter if it's UK or 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 American. It's the same. So when you say fourth, um, it's an old English term for forward.
Okay, got it. I got it.
All right, next one.
I've got it. Yeah.
All right, 12. 12. So this is correct, but you said that you read it from 12. Yes, it's from 12. So 12th, 11th, 12th, 13th. So this is correct. 12th, number 9.
Yeah,
December
yeah, yeah,
is
yeah.
the 12th.
I try to remember that word. I don't know how to spell it.
All right, there you go. Now, next one we have here. You didn't answer this.
Yeah. Yeah. It. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry.
So this is supposed to be a tricky one because this is so here we only have until 12, but this one will have 27th, 26th, and so on. But I don't know why you didn't answer it. So I want you to answer this, okay?
No. Okay.
Send me the answer.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. Now all of this is correct for the grammar. So good job on the opposite. And here you mentioned uneven. I think you don't know what's uneven. So but you answered it correctly. Flat. Uneven is when it's like this. So it's not flat. The opposite of uneven. Like for example, this chips. This chips has a ridged surface. So it's uneven. It's not flat. Simple as that. So ridge, flat. It's not flat, so it's uneven. Even means flat.
So, we can say
So
uneven surface.
yeah, and uneven. So, like the road with a lot of potholes
Yeah.
is uneven.
Mm.
All right. Or you could say the man is having a hard time walking because he has uneven legs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that means that he might have polio or a disease that his one leg is shorter than the other. So he has a limp, uneven. All right. Next one here. Light, lighter.
Like, what happened with uh I can't hear you anymore. What?
Hello, yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So light, lighter. You remove T, lightest.
Oh, oh, yeah, yeah. I've
So careful with the spelling, okay?
yeah, yeah. I can see it now.
All right. Clever,
Clever,
cleverer.
clever, 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 clever.
Cleverer. You add ER. Cleverer.
Oh,
So clever, cleverer. Because the word is already cleverer. So you had cleverer. And sunny, superlative, sunniest, double N.
oh. Sunniest.
All right. So the rule is change Y to I and add ER or I add S.
Sunniest. Yeah.
Sunniest. There. Sunny, sunniest. Now, these words, clever and sunny, are two syllables. So we could actually answer it with more clever, more sunny.
Oh.
And most clever, most sunny. Why? Because some words with two syllables can have er, est, or more, most on their beginning.
Oh.
There. So you could say clever or more clever, cleverest or more most clever, because they take because of their rule. So one syllable erest, two syllables can have erest or more most, and then three syllables will have more most. So clever and sunny can be more clever or cleverer, most clever, cleverest. More sunny, sunnier, most sunny, sunniest. All right.
Yeah.
So they can have two
Great.
forms of comparative and superlative. Thin,
Superlative.
thin is,
Thinner.
how do we spell it?
Thin.
Double N.
Oh.
So
I. Mm.
that's one rule when you have a vowel. So if the word has a consonant, vowel, consonant ending, H consonant, I vowel, and consonant, you double the last letter. Double
Okay.
N
Yeah.
E R.
Yeah.
Like big, BIG. So you go bigger, GGER. So that's double G when it's superlative. Okay? And then thinnest. So double N. All right? So thin, thinner, thinnest. So double N.
And
So
the
those
S.
thinnest. EST.
Yeah.
So you said thin set. So
Sorry.
it's a thinnest. All right. So here. So first rule, one syllable, then ER and EST. You add that to the word. Two syllable, you can, so I'm sending it to you. Two syllable, you can use ER or EST or more, most. That's the second rule in superlative, okay?
Okay.
Third rule, if the word if the word has consonant, vowel, consonant ending, double the last letter and add er or est there. So that's for a single syllable, of course. Okay?
Yeah.
So if it's three syllable, all right, three syllable, then you add more, most. Now there are some that takes special. There are some that takes special. Um, there are words like good, better, and the best or best. See, number six.
Hmm.
So good job on this one. So these are special words when it comes to superlative, and so also the bad, worst, worst. So poor, poorer, poorest, good, short, shorter, shortest, and so on. So everything else is correct. So just take note of this, okay? Double N, double the N, and EST, not set. EST. So you interchange it. Now here, fat, fatter. What's the superlative?
Sorry. I can see it. Maybe fattest.
Fattest. So
Fattest.
what's the rule for fattest? Becomes
Double
double T.
T. Yeah.
Yes. Bad, worst, worst. This is correct. So your answer is correct. Worst, worst. So this is another special word. So we don't say bad, badder, baddest, but bad, worst, worst. Next one. Early, earlier. What's the superlative? Not it's not earliest.
Let me try again. This is early. Uh, IEST.
So
Yeah,
it's
one I is missing.
Liest. There you go. Earliest.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah,
Now, here. So, for the grammar example, so see, this big, you see that the pattern? Double the Grest. Nice, nicer, nicest. Good. Now, here. Hungrier. So, which one is your answer? Hungry. Because you gave two.
maybe the first one.
Yes, so it's hungrier. You change Y to I and add ER.
Yeah,
So the rule there is to change Y to I and add ER
yeah.
or EST. So hungriest would be hungry IEST. All right? So you get
All
it?
right.
There.
Yeah.
Red.
Oh, this is weird to me.
Double double. So how do we correct this?
Uh, double D.
Double D and
Yeah,
then
double D. And red.
redder and reddest. Okay, there you go. Nearer, nearest. Oh, we're okay with this one. Now let's go to here. So nasty,
Oh, what to I nastier.
nastiest.
Yeah.
Hot.
Double T maybe. Hotter.
Yes, very good. Hotter. Dirty.
Oh. Oh, I don't know what is wrong.
Oh, this one I don't see this wrong. So it's dirtier. Yeah, this is correct. And uh yeah, this is correct. Dirtier and dirtiest.
Haha.
I don't know why I marked it. So this is wrong. Next one. Oh, here. Far, farther. Farthest. Though there's another word for this. Uh, FARTHER and FARTHEST is correct. But then there's another answer for this. Okay? Further and furthest. Oh, not fought this. Hold on. Furthest. There. So further and furthest. Now, when do we use further and furthest? So instead of FAR, you use FUR. Further, furthest.
Oh, I've got
When
it
you
now.
talk about location. So when you say, oh, so far and farthest, if you could see it with your eyes, all right. So you use far, FAR, there, and farthest if you could see it with your eyes. So if I say the ball pen is far, the pencil is farther, farthest. Okay. So
Okay.
far, further, farther. But if you can't see it, like for example, we're
Further.
talking about my hometown. So if I say from where I live, my husband's house or my husband's hometown is far, but then mine is further.
Oh,
I use you instead of R, farther. It's further because it's not visible to the eyes. See? You
yeah,
can't
yeah.
see it. So you say further. You say far and farther, FAR. You use this answer that you have if you could see it with your eyes. Like for example, I'm looking outside and then I say, uh, the park is far from my house but the church is farther, but I can see both of them.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's farther. And then the badminton court is farthest among the three. But I could see them from where I'm standing. I could see the park, I could see the church, I could see the basketball court's roof or there. But if I can't see it, I say the village hall is far, but the municipal hall is further because I can see them. And then the provincial hall is the
Further, farther.
furthest.
Further, farther.
All right, so there because I can see them, but I know their location is far from each other, or I know the difference between the distance of of the three of them, but I can't see them. So I say FUR, fur. But if I can see, you can see it, you say far, farther, farthest. All right, there you go.
Great.
So that's it. Now, next one, and number 11,
Mm, yeah. Yeah.
and address. And union, although it's letter U, but remember when we say union, it sounds like Y-O-U, union.
Okay.
So the spelling is of course in letter U, but the pronunciation doesn't start with a U word, but it starts with a Y word. So there. So that's why we say an for union. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So there you go. So there are a we use a for some Y words because the Y words takes the vowel sound. But then union, unicorn because they have U Y sound at the beginning, not U sound in the beginning. Like umbrella. Umbrella is like university. See, you're correct here. A university because it starts with U sound at the beginning, Y sound. So a university. There. Next one we have ear. An ear. So an because ear is a silent H, so you don't say here, but ear. So it sounds with the letter E sound. It starts with the letter E sound.
So it must be an
An,
yeah.
an ear, because
Yeah.
it doesn't have the H sound in the beginning. Like for example, an honest person. So you don't say honest, but an honest, because honest, although it starts with letter H, the beginning sound is honest.
Yeah.
It's an honor to meet you. Not a honor, but an honor to meet you, because honor has an O sound, not an H sound at the beginning. So those are just tricky. So you could take the Y sound and becomes a. H can take no sound and becomes O or E sound at the beginning. So silent H becomes an, and U becomes an a. Those are the only two which uh, we have. And here, this one, a U. Do you know what's a U?
Uh no, no, I don't. That
So
why I have
this
a
yeah. So
brain fart.
this is a U.
I got
So
it.
when you read this, it's just JU sound. So
It's Y again.
no
Y
J
sound.
U yeah. So J Ju
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I've got
because
that.
this is a female sheep.
Yeah.
So this is a sheep. You.
How about the male one? The male ship?
I actually don't know the male sheep. I know that uh, pigs have boar for male, and sow for female. Horses have female name mare, but I don't know the male one. But I know that the baby is the young male is called a stallion.
Yeah.
So there. So it's more of an agricultural term. So we don't frequently use them.
Yeah, yeah.
But I just know for chicken, cock or rooster, and we have hen, and so on. So doe. See, for a deer too, we don't have a male name for a male deer, but we have a doe for a female deer. So there. So I don't know why we have some missing pages here, or skip pages. Now here, there is some, and here there is a this one. This is the only one that there is some homework to do later. Why? Homework is uncountable noun. You can't count it. So whether it's one homework, two, three, four, it's still a homework, not homeworks. You still say homework. I have plenty of homework to do.
Oh,
So plenty, but homework.
I've taught it accountable.
Mm. So it's uncountable. So there, that's why it's next one. So these are the words which are uncountable. So take note of them. Be familiar with them. This one, hold on. Let's rotate this. All right. So I forgot how to rotate this.
No
Uh,
problem. What is happening with cup boss?
cupboards. So no, I'm just going to ask you. You understand what cupboard? That's the pronunciation.
Cup boss.
It's cupboard.
Cup. Oh,
Cupboard.
this is the this is one word you asked me to try again from the first lesson.
I think so.
Yeah.
So cupboard.
So I
There.
forgot my error.
So the word is cupboard, and
Yeah.
you didn't match it with the last. So you didn't complete the sentence. So you say there is a
Cupboards.
cupboard. There
Cupboards.
are cupboards in
Cupboards.
the.
Cupboards.
Where are they? So you didn't complete it. See, in the, because this is supposed to know where they are, to know, to expand your vocabulary. There are some people in the where.
Oh, I see. I see. I can see it now.
Yeah, so there. But then just this, just the cupboard is just the pronunciation. I want to check whether you remember, and then you didn't finish it here, so that's it. And then that's it. That's for it. That's for it right now. So we're
Yeah.
done. I'm sending you another assignment soon, for you to work on. But then very good. Very little error. So we're good with that. And it's more of familiarity. So as I said, review and be familiar, and then next time, try not to make the same mistake again. So I'll check whether you're taking note of the corrections that we have here, because we are on the next lessons. Of course, we're discussing things, and I'll see if we're applying what you learn here on our grammar assignments on our lessons. Okay, so that's it for this. We're good. Let me just unshare the screen. So we're done. Now let's go to our lesson.
Yeah.
All right. So kindly open it up. We'll discuss it. So if you notice, it's the it's not arranged like one, two, three, four, five, because there are some lessons that's which is talking about the same topic like airplane or airport and something like that. So we really don't need to run through all of them. So that's why I would skip them and go to the next lesson, which I think would be more relevant for us, right?
Okay.
So since you've traveled to another country, I know that you would notice the things that they're doing in there. I know that you would observe what they are doing. So let's talk about them, okay? So habits from I get from foreign country. So what habits have you adopted from another country? Do you have any?
Yeah, a lot. Because I had I lived in Japan for nearly 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I had a lot of habits.
You got from Japan.
Yeah, which is I got from Japan.
So can you give me example of those habits you acquired from Japan?
Yeah, yeah. The first one is I often just say sorry to everything. That's how Japanese do. They say sorry a lot. Yeah, much a lot. Yeah, i- compared to Vietnamese people.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Now, what
The
else?
yeah
What else have you noticed about their culture, which is different
yeah
from?
yeah. The second one is eat how I eat is sushi is
Sushi,
yeah
sushi,
sushi yeah it's actually it
she, sh.
sushi she is that
Sushi.
yeah it's actually uncooked uh, meat and I can eat them a lot. That's
You like them?
of course I like it. Yeah.
All right. I can't eat them.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay, okay.
so
Yeah.
I'm so how do you say this? I have aversion. When you say aversion, like me, I don't like eating raw things, except for vegetables. I would eat vegetables even if they're raw on salad, but for meat, no. I would always imagine that there would be worms of parasites on the meat and so on, uh, because um, maybe because I grew up with a grandmother that's very strict when it comes to hygiene, very strict when it comes to cooking food because she said if you don't cook your food well, um, worms lay their eggs on meat, on certain parts of the animal body. And when they grow, when you ingest them and they're still alive, they would be deposited in your body as well. So I have that thinking that, oh, there's worms growing inside my body.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I just can't eat anything that's raw. When I eat anything, it has to if it's meat, fish, chicken, beef. That's why I don't eat steak that's not well done. I want my steak well done. It has to be well done. Um, I'll never eat it when I see that red stripe. Because when you eat steak, you could have medium rare or rare. It has that red part on it still, and it's oozing with blood. I can't.
Yeah.
I just can't. So if that's it. For Japanese food, I would eat ramen. I
Yeah.
would eat other types of Japanese food except sushi and sashimi because I could eat maki because maki it's cooked. The maki is cooked. Certain makis are cooked, but not sushi and sashimi. I just can't. They said, "Oh, you dip it in vinegar." Yeah, but you only like do that. You didn't cook it in vinegar. Like let it stay there for a long period of time.
Of
Because
course.
Filipinos would cook fish, but they let it stay on vinegar for like half an hour. So that means the vinegar actually killed whatever it is because the vinegar is a disinfecting matter or whatever you put in the vinegar gets killed. But not when it you just dip it. Oh my goodness.
How?
All right,
How?
but then anyway, let's talk about his. So our writer last time, our writer I think was the from the Philippines because he used the word chipney. This time our writer I think went to Korea. So let's read the article.
Okay. What habits did you get from a foreign country?
A foreign,
A foreign. Oh,
foreign.
I say foreign,
It's not foreign. It's foreign,
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 foreign country.
foreign,
foreign country, country. Did I forget? Yeah, yeah. What?
So foreign country.
foreign
Next one.
country,
Foreign country. One fork, foxed,
Forks.
foxed, foxed. Uh, I,
Aw-
what?
awkward.
Aqua.
All right. Forks.
I got
Forks are awkward.
fork, fox. Awkward. We've
Awkward.
we've been using chopsticks with everything now, and whenever we're given forks, forks to
Forks. Oh,
forks,
pork.
forks,
Forks.
forks, forks. To you, we are so confused. Not that they're confusing to you. They are a lot
Use.
to use, use,
Use. With
use,
yeah.
you, use. Oh, I connect the sound by converting it into Vietnamese. Oh, they're a lot easier than chopsticks. Forks are just so barbaric.
Yeah, barbaric. That means it's when you're barbaric, it's like you kill everything.
Mm,
So barbaric is the when we say you're barbaric, that means you're cruel and unpleasant.
yeah, I got it because you have to hit inside the food.
You have to stab the food.
Stab, yeah, yeah, stab.
So
You have to stab the food. I
yeah,
don't want
forks
to stab. Oh, that's stab my food anymore. Why?
because he wants to.
They dead already. No problem with it. Okay, I want to pick it up. Chopsticks let you do that. It's like the more humany,
Humane,
human. Oh,
humane,
yeah, human.
humane.
The silent H, okay?
Yeah, again, there's the A and then the consonant and then the E becomes silent. So the A, human, you remember human, no E at the end. So man, man. However, when you add E, A takes a long vowel sound and silent E. Just
Oh,
like I consonant E, I takes the long I sound and E is silent. So with this one, it's the same rule. A takes the long A sound. It's not ah anymore, but A, and then like bake, cake, right?
mm,
So it becomes A sound and then k without the E at the end. No E sound. So E becomes silent.
mhm.
All right, there you
Okay,
go.
okay. Human, human,
Humane,
human,
humane.
human, 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 human. So, So the E letter is it ending?
Silent.
Is
Silent.
silent.
Silent E, long A, long I sound.
Oh, this is the
So for
first time I see a word with two silent sounds.
for example, the word is ban and bane.
Oh, what is that?
Ban is when
Uh,
you say ban, you're not allowed to
oh,
enter
I
a
got it.
place.
I got it.
Bane is harmful.
Pen.
Bane means harmful.
Oh,
So that thing is bane to me. It will cost you trouble or unhappiness. It's a bane. All right,
okay,
like a
okay.
wolf's, like the plant wolf's bane is believed to ward off wolves. You know what I mean? So bane, and we have cat and Kate,
Oh,
Matt and oh sorry, Matt and mate. See, so the a takes from a sound, it becomes an a sound, and then the t and then the e is silent. You don't sound the e anymore. So
oh.
eight, eight, eight. So there. So there you
Okay,
go.
okay, okay.
So that's the long A rule. So just like I, A takes the long sound, and then that E becomes a silent sound. So no more E sound at the end. It's just a long A sound in the
More.
middle. All right, there you go.
So the more human, the more
Humane,
human.
humane.
Yeah, I saw it. I know it wrong.
You
uh,
realized it.
the
So when
more
we say
human, but
humane,
if yeah.
so when we say humane, humane means more kind, more caring, more sympathetic towards something.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want something to suffer. You're humane. So for example, killing, killing somebody. All right. Let's say your country has death. How do you say this?
Penalty.
Uh, Death penalty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
penalty.
Uh,
Yeah.
uh, you lethal injection is more humane than electrocution.
Hmm.
There. So when you do lethal injection, you inject something to make the person paralyzed, and then it kills, and then eventually it kills the person. So the person doesn't actually feel you killing him because he goes to sleep, and then he you kill him. But electrocution, you put him on an electric chair and he goes before he dies. So he suffered first before he dies. So there. So for death penalty, lethal injection is more humane than electrocution.
I eat not
There.
perfectly.
There. So here, uh, picking up your food before you eat it is more humane than stabbing your food and eating them.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Anyway,
Sometimes we go to Korean restaurant and they want to give us chopsticks. Chopsticks.
chopsticks. You're saying it correctly.
Chopsticks. Yeah. Fra frabali. Frabat.
Probably.
Yeah. I I try to fix these words up many times. Oh.
So syllabicate it. Probably. That would help you to say it. Don't try to say words that are hard to say by saying it all together. Syllabicate it.
Probably.
Properly. Proper, properly. Probably. Because they think we can't use them, but we are so much more comfortable with them now.
All right.
As I mean chopsticks.
So when they go to Korean restaurant, the
Yeah,
Koreans don't provide
yeah,
chopsticks.
yeah, yeah.
But then they actually are more comfortable using chopsticks now. So how about you in Vietnam? Are you using chopsticks?
Yeah, all the time.
Mm-mm. So in the Philippines, we use spoon and fork.
Hmm.
Yes. So there.
So they use chopsticks mainly in China, Japan, Korea,
Thailand.
Thailand, Vietnam.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Vietnam.
five countries.
No, Myanmar also
Yeah, no.
uses. Yeah,
Oh,
they also use chopsticks, but some part of them uses fork because they're influenced by a British or
oh.
a colony. Singapore uses chopsticks.
Singapore is quite international country, so
Yeah, so
they really
they
have all the thing can have.
yeah, there. So these areas. So Philippines before we were colonized, we use just our hands.
Yeah, like India.
Yeah, we use our hands to eat
Yeah.
things. But then because we've been a Spanish colony and an American colony, so we use a spoon and fork
Yeah, yeah.
instead there. So next one. So you have only two words. I want you to take note. Probably and awkward. Humane. Three. So sorry. Three. So I want you to remember these words. Okay, I'll put them down on your chat box so that you could remember to practice on them. Next one, let's read.
Oh, thank you, thank you. I actually add those words into my note to
Good.
to learn it again and again. Okay, okay.
Next one, number
Hand
two.
handphone, handphone, hand
Handphone.
handphone, handphone.
Phone.
What?
Oh, phone.
Phone, phone,
See
handphone.
another O-N-E.
Yeah, this is the first time I hear the handphone.
All right, handphone.
Handphone.
So we have this is their term for cell phone.
Yeah, I can
So let's
uh
read it.
we call our cell phones hand phones now. Why call it a handphone? Is there a foot phone using the word hand? Is totally re,
Redundant.
redundant. Yeah, yeah, I remember this.
Redundant. So when you say it's redundant, it means the same, but you still say it. Like when you
That's right.
say, like there, handphone or walk my walk on my foot. Of course, you don't walk in somebody else's foot. You walk using your feet. So you don't say walk on
Yeah,
my foot
yeah.
because you can't walk on somebody else's foot. There. So there.
Okay. Like this this is mouth food. What is that? Anyhow, even those
Mouth food.
true.
So it's like this is a mouth food. Of course, do we feed some other parts of our body? It's always the mouth. So when you say mouth food, it's redundant
So
because there's no way that you feed. Is there a eye food or an ear food? No, it's mouth. It's food. But then some people will say, it's a mouth food. Oh,
so
yes.
why do we need this word?
So yeah, so there. So some people would say mouth food, but it's redundant because It's really the mouth that eats the food. And then for Koreans, because the Koreans are not really English speaking country, so they say hand phone. Of course. Why do we use phone on with our feet? It's always hand. See?
Oh,
So they invent, some countries would invent words that they would use in their country, but when you take it onto the international level, it's actually redundant and weird. Because why would you say that? Because it's really mouth.
redundant.
It's really food. It's just food. You don't say mouth food because it's really the mouth that eats the food. Or
Yeah,
Koreans say handphone. Well, it's really a handphone because who else would use the phone? Your feet?
yeah.
So
Oh,
there.
okay. We
So these are terms that are developed in some non-English speaking country, and then they used it and they understand what the meaning of it. But of course, when you take it to the international level, people will say, "What's that?" All
yeah.
right, there. So, okay. So next one.
Oh, we use
Anyhow,
anyhow even through we
though,
uh,
even
e-
though,
even though we hate the word, we use it all the time and confuse our Canadian Canadian Canadian
Canadian.
Canadian friends.
All right. So another word, hate.
Hate,
So we follow the rule on long A, silent E. So hey, A, hate.
hate, hate,
Yeah. So there it's hate, not het, but
hate,
hate.
hate, hate,
hate, hate, hate. Okay.
Yes. So there. Next one.
Tipping is not done in Korea.
Do you tip in Vietnam?
No, we don't.
In the Philippines too, we don't. Well, it's optional. Some
Yeah,
would give tip, but others really don't. So
yeah.
there's no need for that. So
Hmm.
if you, let's say in the Philippines, if you have coins that you leave behind, they're already thankful with that because tipping is not a culture here. Let's try it. Let's read it.
Tipping is not done in Korea. After living for some time in Korea, I returned home to spend a holiday with friends and family. I ended up surprising my parents and the waiter when I didn't tip in our local pub. Once I realized my mistake, I called the waiter over to apologize and gave him a generous tip. It is just easy to forget your own country's habits when you don't practice them.
Practice.
Again, sorry. Practice.
Yeah, so there you go. So there, you actually committed less error on this one.
Oh,
Just a few, like hate. But then
practice,
it takes, how do you say this, conscious effort. But you know the rule already. When it's vowel and then consonant and then letter E at the end, the vowel before, yeah, the vowel before that would take the long A sound, and then E is silent, like hate. See, hate. So it takes the A sound and then the E is silent.
hmm.
There. So we will not do the vocabulary. What we will do is I'm going to ask you. So aside from what's what culture in Japan did you bring home with you that you practice in your house?
In my house.
Aside from saying sorry,
Mm,
or you practice every day, like you still do even when you're home already?
I don't know. We I don't have any
Practice.
yeah any anything like that.
Oh, right. So
Oh,
you don't.
yeah,
It's okay.
uh,
Go.
I I do it, but I don't realize I did it.
You're
That
doing it, but you don't realize
yeah
you're
yeah
doing it. No,
that's
I'm because I studied anthropology in college, so I have a subject in anthropology. So I
what
spent
is that? Sorry.
anthropology is the study of evolution of society and culture.
Ooh.
So that's why because I'm really a social worker. I just took units in education, but I'm a social worker, so I work more with people. My subjects in college are more on psychology, human resources, and so on. So part of our lessons is anthropology. So part of that, I actually went to. So when you say anthropology, you're studying human behavior, society, the past, the present, and so on. So you observe people. It's something that it's actually a fascinating subject. It's one of my favorite subject in college. So part of my studies is I stayed the whole summer in an area. This part of the Philippines is in the mountains, like a tribe. Vietnam has a lot of groups of people, right?
Yeah.
Indigenous people. So we also have that in the Philippines. We have lots of people. It's actually the reason why we have a lot of languages because we're made up of different tribes or group of people. So tribe is not used right now, but we call it indigenous group. So I went to this high mountain. There's an indigenous group there that still continues to practice their old tradition. Part of it is talking to plants. So
Talking.
because their religion is animism, so
Mm.
their religion means that they respect the nature. All right. So whenever they harvest something from nature, they talk to it. They thank the nature. They talk to the nature. They say, "Oh, thank you for providing us food." And then when they cut plants, like for example,
Like
they
yeah. I
they
just
actually tell the plants to we need to cut you down because we need food for our sustenance, but we planted a replacement for you, something like that.
yeah. It's just like in Avatar movie.
Yeah, so
Avatar.
that's how they live. When they harvest in nature, they talk to the river and say, "Provide us with food for sustenance," and so on. So there, so I took that I took that how do you say this? I took that I adapted that
Mm.
culture.
Mm.
That whenever I go to my garden, I talk to my plants. They say, "Oh, you have to bear flowers because it would be beautiful here. Like we could hang out here together because it's beautiful." Here. My husband would say, if your plants talk back to you, I
Yeah.
don't know if you're going."
Sounds very cute.
He
Yeah.
said, if your plants would talk back to you, you'd probably run away. And I do that with my dogs as well, with things around. Like I say, "Oh, wow, your flower is so beautiful." And then sometimes I say, when I go to the pond, to the pond, we have koi in our garden. I would tell the koi, "Wow, you're so big now. So are you okay in there?" And then I say, "Oh, when they come up and answer you, you probably run away."
You want I eat you?
Yeah, I actually tell them we
Yeah.
will harvest you
Mm.
because we need food, we need to eat and something like that. So well, I guess it does help.
Yeah.
So I talk to my plants. I would say, "Oh, you have to grow beautifully. You have to provide flowers so that we it's nice to stay here with you." things like that. But then that's one culture I got from them. I actually got a lot of culture, or a lot of things from them that it has anything to do with nature and respect of nature. So I'm just thankful I stayed with them for 3 months and be able to you know experience how it lives in a society that respects culture, nature so much. Anyway, we will talk about the vocabulary. So what I want you to do is research on it, and then I'll ask you a few questions regarding things that we talked about here and things that you
Of
adapted in
course.
Korea. Or we might talk about cultural taboos. So what cultural taboos will be things that are not allowed in your society or in your culture. Okay?
Culture taboo.
Taboo, cultural
Yeah.
taboo. So we might talk about that instead of running through. So we'll just talk about the vocabulary, but we will not talk about the questions. We will talk about taboos in the future. That means things that are not allowed. You're not allowed to do in your country. Like for example, in my country, you're not allowed to give salt to a neighbor or anybody if it's already dark. They say it's bad omen.
Oh.
Yeah. So old people will never let you give salt or rice to, yeah, will never give you salt and allow you to give salt and rice to whoever it is that's asking, because it's wrong.
Sauce and rice.
Salt and rice, yes.
What
Those
is that?
salt.
Yeah.
Salt, salt, the one that we eat.
Fish sauce, something like that.
Not really, rock salt.
Ah, salt. Yeah.
And rice. You were not. So I remember one time, a neighbor forgot to buy rice. My grandmother will not allow us to give rice. Instead, we cooked it. We're not allowed to give the rice, so we cooked it and gave them cooked rice already, because you're not allowed to give rice that's not cooked yet to neighbors.
So
So we
is there any reason for that?
Well, they believe it's bad. It's an old tradition. That's why it's called taboo, because it's something that doesn't really have an explanation, but it's practiced in our society. And we
Yeah.
have a lot of them. So that's what we're going to talk about next time. So I want you to research on those. So I'll send you your assignment again. You can
Okay.
do it anytime you're free. So bye now.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.